Uh, Welcome and namaste. It's so lovely to see who shows up on our online sessions, and it's kind of nice to start to form this online community for the importance of slowing down and rest in the practice of Yoga Nidra. Tonight, I'm going to overlay the map of the chakras onto our Yoga Nidra. And so, Yoga Nidra is that lying down meditation, and we'll be doing that towards the end of the class. So, at the beginning of the class, right away, we're going to take a moment just to feel and sense into our chakras, these sacred energy vortexes in our body. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the chakra system. I think we're all probably have differing levels of knowledge about the chakras. And then, if there's time, just before we lay down, we're actually going to stand up and do a little bit of movement and find that sense of connection and rootedness to the ground through our bodies. So that's kind of the plan this evening. So let's begin by getting comfortable. And so this first short meditation, you're welcome to either sit or lie down. It's completely up to you, whatever you feel that you need right now and is most comfortable. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable. If you're sitting in a chair, it's nice to just ground your feet so that you can feel the earth energy beneath you. And again, sitting up tall. If you're lying on the ground, again, just relax, stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out. Posture of Shavasana. And I'm going to begin by inviting the bell. So the bell comes from my Buddhist practice from Thich Nhat Hanh. And this idea that the sound of the bell invites us home. It invites us home to our breath, to our bodies, and to this moment right now. And so you might want to take a few deep breaths. And as you exhale, just settling into your space, settling into your body, relaxing into the support of the earth. And just take a moment to notice how your body feels. And if there's a way that you can be a little bit more comfortable, go ahead and make that adjustment. And bring your awareness to the feeling of your breath. Acknowledge any leftover thoughts or anything left on your to-do list from the day and let it go. And taking this time for self-care with this open curiosity for your experience. And settling into a gentle rhythm for your breath. No force, no strain. This conscious breath, breathing in, aware that you're breathing in, breathing out, aware that you're breathing out. And so bringing awareness to the feeling at the very base of your spine. This is the root chakra. And I'm not going to say too much about the chakras right away. I want you to simply feel into your own experience. So just sense the way the weight is there. Bring a sense of breath awareness to the base of the spine. Feel the weight of your legs. Just tuning into your body and these 7 sacred centers. And if you're aware of the chakras and the characteristics of the chakra, maybe even see if you can let that go. Let this go back to your beginner's mind. And then bringing your awareness up a little bit to the space just above the pubic bone and beneath the belly button. And again, just this simple feeling into sensation without judging your experience. Connecting to your body in this very kind and gentle way. How does the breath feel here? How do you feel physically? What are the thoughts or images that come up? And then moving up to the navel area. Just kind of at the center of the lower rib cage, the center of your being, if you will. And again, breathe and sense and feel. Over time, as we work with the different energies of the chakras consistently over time, we can really begin to tune in at deeper and deeper levels. So whatever level you're at. Now shifting awareness to the heart center, the feeling right at the center of your chest. Feeling, sensing, breathing. Just noticing, always coming back to pure sensation. And then bringing awareness now to your throat center. And feeling in the center of your throat. Not making anything up here or creating things. Just noting your experience of your throat center. And now bringing awareness to the space between your eyebrows. Noticing any tension there, releasing it. Just feeling your embodied experience. There's nothing to achieve here. In fact, it's a letting go, an unpeeling of layers. And finally, feeling up into the very top of your head, the crown of the head. Noticing any sensation here. Imagining perhaps you could breathe in and out through the crown of the head. And then feel your awareness flow all the way back down through the eyebrow center, the throat center, through the heart center, the navel center, down through the lower belly, and down to the root again. Expand your awareness to notice your whole body once more. And so anytime we simply bring our awareness to these sacred centers, there's a clearing that takes place just simply by bringing awareness. So I'm going to move into a little bit of sharing a little bit of information about the chakras. And I just want to acknowledge that this is a huge topic. And like anything, there's all different layers of awareness. And so we just meet it wherever we are with our own experience and our own knowledge. And this evening we'll just be just barely scraping the surface. Hopefully I'll give you a little bit of information and more so experience. So the chakra system teaches us an elegant system for understanding both your health and your imbalances. It's a very complex system and not one size fits all. And that's important to remember, that we can use it according to our own needs and understanding. And it's also, the tendency is for people to grab onto the information with their mind. And there's all sorts of chakra charts that you can look at. And we tend to get that analytical mind going. But the wisdom of the chakras lives in the felt experience in the body. So that's just the invitation. And that's why I led you through the experience to begin with in your body. So the chakra system gives us a map for this journey of healing, both our inner world and our outer world. It helps us integrate our body and mind and spirit, and it helps integrate also our expression of being connected to the earth while also connected to more universal consciousness or spirit. So it's a path to what yoga calls the true self, that both includes the individual self and the universal or whole self. So the chakra system can be used as a tool for both diagnosis, what's going on, what's wrong, as well as healing. What do I need to do to move into healing? But as I mentioned earlier, it takes time and practice and a deep understanding of the principles in the body. We have to move from the head into the heart and into embodied awareness. So the chakras have come to the West as a gift through the tradition and the practice of yoga. Yoga as a spiritual practice. And yoga as a spiritual practice is designed to yoke together the individual with the universal self, or with the divine, or God, or however you want to name that great mystery. And so we use postures, we use pranayama and breathing, we can use meditation, we can use chanting, all of these tools of yoga. And we can bring this balance to our lives. And so, this goal of union of the individual self with the universal self can be achieved through passing through these steps of ever expanding states of consciousness. And the chakras represent these steps. So, what exactly is a chakra? You know, it's one of those words that we're hearing more and more. It's become common wordage or parlance in our language. But I'm not sure we all understand exactly what it is. And I think, as I've said before, there's layers of understanding. But according to Anodea Judah, who wrote a wonderful book called Eastern Body, Western Mind, she says that a chakra is a center of energy that receives, assimilates, and expresses our life force energy, or prana. So there's this mutual giving and receiving and giving back. So the word chakra translates as wheel or disc. So these spinning spheres of bioenergetic activity that emanate from places in our spinal column, all the way, as we experience, from the base of our spine to the very top of the head. And the chakras act as kind of a yoke of our mind and body. They're like a meeting point or a portal. So chakras are not physical entities in and of themselves, because like feelings and ideas, they can't be held or grasped like a physical object. And yet they have a strong effect upon our body because they express the embodiment of spiritual energy on the physical plane. So just as emotions and feelings can't be grasped, but they affect our breathing, our heart rate, and metabolism, chakras also affect us on a lot of different levels, from our hormonal processes to our body shape to chronic physical ailments. They affect our thoughts and our behaviors. And so it is by using techniques like yoga, breathing, visualization, meditation, chanting, we can influence our chakras and our health, and ultimately our lives. So, although chakras do not exist in a physical sense, they are said to have a location, and we experience those different locations in our opening meditation. And so the lower chakras, the lower three chakras, which are physically closer to the earth, they relate more to the more practical matters of our lives. So our survival, our creativity, our sexuality, and our taking action in the world. And the upper chakras represent our mental and spiritual realms, and they work on a more symbolic level through words, images, and concepts, although there's still that sense of the subtle energy of each of these chakras. And so each step upwards in the chakra system moves from that heavy, well-defined vibrational state of form or earth to a higher, subtler, and freer form of spirit. And each step downward brings us back into form and back into solidity. And so it is as we learn to open and heal the chakras within, we become this living link between heaven and earth, between body and spirit, between form and formless. So we learn how to live simultaneously in both worlds, so to say. So there's this great image of the chakra system as a human biocomputer. The word chakra literally means disc. So this used to work well when we used to have floppy disks. So now you have to think of your memory sticks more. Um, but these memory sticks, they contain vital programs as well as the software for our computer. So we have programs in our bodies for survival, for our sexuality, for power, for love and communication, and lots of different programs. But just like computer programs, a lot of our programs, both conscious and unconscious, can get out of date, especially the programs that we learned as children. So the chakra system is like an evolutionary upgrade that can be used to reprogram our lives. So also with a computer is useless without electricity. So what activates our programs is the energy that we pour into the system, and in our bodies, that's the prana or chi or life force energy. So in order to activate or to run any of our programs, we have to activate what's called our energy currents. And we have two essential poles or currents, and they're on a vertical basis. So we have what's called the current of manifestation, which is the downward pull of the soul into the body. So we move from towards form, into density, into boundaries, constriction, and individuality. But we also have the current of liberation, this upward pull out of the body and into spirit. And this moves us into more freedom, more expansion, more universality, and oneness. And so we balance this sense of being grounded in our physical body with this idea of consciousness. And so our grounding comes from the solid contact we make with the earth, usually through our legs or our feet, but it can also be done in a seated position through our sit bones, base of our spine, or even when we're lying down in yoga nidra, we make connection to the earth through the back of our body. And consciousness comes from this elusive entity that we call the mind. And the monkey minds that we can never quite get a grasp on, that are jumping from thought to thought and tree to tree. So quite often we're not connected to our bodies, our consciousness. We're busy thinking about something else. I have this image of our heads just being pulled from side to side, and we kind of follow wherever that is. And yet when consciousness is connected to the body, we have this dynamic energy flow throughout our entire being. Hopefully you began to tune into some of that in our opening meditation. So in effect, we begin to plug in our system to the energy that is all around us and woven throughout creation. So the chakras then become like channels, receiving and broadcasting at a lot of different frequencies. So we have that vertical line of the liberation and manifestation, but we also have our horizontal currents that flow into and out of each chakra. So we have the current of reception. We're always receiving energy and information from outside ourselves. We assimilate it. And we also have the current of expression, as how we express our life force energy through our thoughts, through our voice, through our actions. But when a chakra becomes blocked or imbalanced, this ability to receive and express can become distorted. We can be excessive. We can have excessive energy in our chakra or deficient energy. And so what blocks a chakra and what causes these imbalances? A lot of different things. So it could be childhood traumas or ongoing traumas. It can be cultural conditioning, limited belief systems. It can be restrictive or exhausting habits, physical and emotional injuries, lack of attention, and just being too busy to notice. And all of us have developed coping strategies that can often become chronic patterns. And these chronic ways of being or habits can become anchored in our body as defensive structures. And these defensive structures show up in our body as holding or tension. We can be chronically tight in certain areas of our body. We can be even, the fascia or the connective tissue. Even our organs can feel some of this restrictive energy. I mean, we are energetic beings, and so our energy can be restricted or stuck in certain areas. And so I think we all know when we're experiencing that restrictive energy in our body, whether it's a tight muscle or a feeling of constriction in our chest or our heart center. But when this tension goes on for too long, it becomes known as body armor. And it can affect everything from our posture to our breathing, our metabolism, our emotional states, our perceptions, our interpretations, and our belief system. So we're seeing that any block or imbalance in a specific chakra affects the flow of these four basic currents: that liberating current, as well as the manifestation current, so the two vertical currents, as well as the horizontal currents. So if we're unable to receive energy, like the energy of love or the energy of new information, a chakra can kind of atrophy. Or if we're unable to express our energy, that which we feel we need to express, we can become stagnated and end up being kind of a closed system without that interaction. So a healthy chakra is one that can both receive information, assimilate it, and offer it back out to the world. So, that is just a quick overview of how the chakras work. And we haven't even got into the individual chakras yet, which we're going to do more in a more experiential way. But I want to say that unblocking or balancing a chakra requires addressing the problem on multiple levels. First of all, we have to understand the dynamics of that particular chakra. So we do need a little bit of background information, and also its relationship to the whole. We also have to examine our own personal history related to that particular chakra's issues. And then we apply the practices and the techniques, and that might be physical postures, it might be pranayama or breathing, it might be meditation and visualization, or chanting, or a combination of those. So this evening, we're going to focus a little bit on some movement for a moment to feel that. And then I'm going to guide you through the Yoga Nidra that will focus on this balancing of the chakras. So we've been sitting a long time listening to me talk. So I'm going to invite you to come to a standing position in your space. I'm just going to move my chair off to the side. And we don't want to cut off my head. I'm going to back off a little bit. And so just standing with your feet about hip width apart and parallel. So what we call mountain pose in yoga. Just a nice steady sense of being. And it might be nice to take a deep cleansing breath here. So breathe in through your nostrils. And as you exhale, allow that sense of energy to flow down through your body and out in through your feet to the earth. And just be aware of what you feel that sense of the soles of your feet meeting the surface that you're standing on. Become aware of your breath. And just gently begin to shift the weight from side to side. So just shifting from left to right and right to left. And so Muladhara chakra, our root chakra, all about our connection to the earth element, the earth beneath us. It's the ability to have our basic needs met. It is a sense of being embodied and connected to our physical body as well as the body of the earth. It's about a sense of belonging, feeling I deserve to be here and take up space. So let's shift that rocking now to moving forwards into the balls of your feet and back into the heels. And you might start to find that shifty little balance thing happening as well. And here you're articulating all of the bones and the muscles in your feet. And just feel how the toes can stretch out, and you can feel that shift backwards and forwards. And then coming to that place where you feel balanced, left and right, front and back, and you feel that sense of rootedness, like the roots of a tree. And take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel firmly grounded through your legs and your feet to the earth. And so anytime that you're feeling overwhelmed or stressed out, if you can just bring your awareness to your feet and the earth beneath you, it's a really nice way of calming the nervous system. All right, so now from that firmness of the earth, we move into the element of water in our hips and our pelvis. So just let your hips and your pelvis begin to shift in a circle. You know, let your shoulders go. Feel that sense of flow in your body, that sense of sensual movement through the hips and the pelvis. So this second chakra energy connected to sexuality, sensuality, creative movement, creativity, our ability also to feel and process all of our feelings and emotions. So the element is water. So let yourself be water here. And then come back to center, to just standing firm, rooting down through your feet to the ground, feeling your legs, feeling the breath in your belly. And so we move now into the power center. And that's right at the center of our being in our navel area here. So a nice way to sense this is I'm going to turn sideways so that you can see me. And I might just shift the camera a little tiny bit. So your feet are hip width apart. Your knees are bent. You're going to bring your hands to your thighs just above your knees. And this is kind of like cat and cow pose, those of you that have done cat and cow yoga. So as you inhale, you're going to arch the back and tip the tailbone up. As you exhale, you're going to tuck yourself in and draw the navel in towards the spine. And let's just hold here in this rounded position. You're drawing in through the abdominals and the navel here. You're still breathing though, don't hold your breath. And feel that firm connection to your power center. And then we're going to flow through it a little bit. So as you inhale, you're going to arch the back, look up. And as you exhale, drawing into yourself. This is a nice warm up for the spine as well. Inhaling and exhale. A few more times. Last time. Trying the belly in, and then slowly rounding up to that standing position here. Beautiful. So remember we said that these lower three chakras are kind of the chakras that help us live a healthy and balanced life, whereas the upper chakras are more symbolic and are related more to our inner wisdom and our spiritual journey towards universal consciousness or enlightenment. So we're going to do a nice pose that just helps us be steady in our lower chakras, and that's tree pose. So if you have a window there and you can see a tree outside your window, it's nice to have the tree as a teacher. And just so you can see my feet for a moment. So just take a moment to really sense the roots down through both feet to begin with. Feel your breath. Feel that sense of rooting down through your feet. Feel the sense of the hips and the pelvis balance. Now this is a nice way to open up the hips and the pelvis. So to begin with baby tree, you're going to place your right heel on the inner ankle with the knee out to the side for a moment. Root down through that left leg. And then bring your hands together at your heart center. So really feeling that sense of balance. Remember, the heart center is at the center of our whole chakra system. And feeling that sense of rootedness to the earth. And of course, trees connect to each other through their roots, through the ground, to the earth. And feel your breath. And feel a sense of connection to the power center. So that slight drawing in of the abdominals to feel rooted and grounded through your center. Now, if you're feeling brave, you might want to take your foot up a little higher, maybe on the lower leg. If you're an advanced yogi, you can bring the heel right up into the inner thigh there. I'm not going to hold it there because I can't talk and balance at the same time. All right. So standing.
مش قادرة أغير اسمك هون، مش دايما هون في رينيم جنب الهاد. لا لا.
I'm unmuted there. All right. And then grow your branches up. Inhale all the way up. And you can separate your hands a little bit here and just feel the gracefulness of the tree. And so here we stand, this balance between rooted to the earth and open to the vastness of the sky above. All right, and we're going to take it back down and then release. And then shifting onto the other side, you might want to take a few steps and kind of wiggle to release. And then bring all your weight into your right foot, left heel on the inner ankle. And again, just feel yourself growing tall. Draw your hands to your heart center. Again, finding your balance, finding your roots, feeling your breath. So tree pose is such a lovely pose for creating this sense of embodiment and rootedness to the earth. And when you feel balanced and calm, you can bring the foot either to just the calf, the lower leg, or up into the inner thigh. Again, trusting what's available to you. And inhaling, arms reaching up like the branches. And so we just feel the beauty and the simplicity of the tree. The tree exactly as it is, just being its beautiful self. Heart open. And then gently bring the hands back down. And then stepping back down. Take a few steps to release, wiggle around a little bit. And then just taking a moment to stand firmly on both feet again. Feeling that lovely grounded feeling of the earth beneath you. Feeling your breath. Sensing and breathing into your heart center now. So remember, the heart center lies at the very center of the chakra system. And a nice way to awaken the heart center is some tapping. So take your fingertips, tapping on the sternum, from the base of the sternum up. You can tap along the collarbones here, up top. And so we're just creating a little bit of vibration, create some extra circulation, awakening the heart center, releasing some of the tightness and constriction. So this is a nice practice. You know, sometimes when you're feeling tense and tight in your heart center, just give it some taps. That's a nice practice to do that as well. Good. All right, release the arms back down. And so notice how your heart center feels now. And then turn your palms forward. And so when we turn our palms forward, it's the whole arm. Do you notice how the sternum lifts, the collarbones broaden, and the shoulders roll up and down? So you get that upliftment to the heart center. It's called opening the eyes of the heart. And then imagine that you're standing and maybe you can see outside your window again and see some of the sunshine, and imagine the sun just streaming light down into your heart center and expanding into your shoulders, down through your arms, glistening off your fingertips. And now we'll take this into some sun breaths. So inhale, as you reach up, you're tracing a circle of light around yourself. You're bringing your hands together over your head. And then exhale as you draw that light down through the crown chakra, the eyebrow center, the throat, the heart, and all the way down to the base. So let's do that a few times. Inhale, big circle of light, looking upwards, drawing the light down right through the central axis of your body. Let's try that a few more times. Inhale, stretching up. Exhaling. And again, just finding that natural rhythm of your breath and the circular movement, and then imagining of drawing the light down. And for the throat chakra, we're going to bring in the sound of Om as we bring the hands down. So, Om. Inhale, drawing up. Om as the sacred creative energy of the universe. Om. A few more times, inhaling. Last time, inhaling. And just bring your hands to your heart center for a moment. Feel and sense and breathe into your experience of your physical body, your subtle energetic body, your mind, your breath, all of you, all of who you are, and all of who you're becoming. Lovely. You can release your hands down. And you can move to the floor or couch to be comfortable for Yoga Nidra. So it's usually done in the posture of Shavasana, although if you're more comfortable lying on your bed or lying in an easy chair since you're in your own home, you're welcome to do that. And I'll just demonstrate that posture. It is nice to have a few little props. It's nice to have a pillow or a bolster cushion underneath your knees. I also like to use a cushion. I have a little half moon cushion for my head, which is quite nice. You can just use any kind of cushion or pillow. Traditionally, too, we would encourage you to cover yourself with a blanket. It might be fairly warm where you are. It's fairly warm here. Sometimes I just cover my lower body. So whatever feels comfortable for you. Covering the body gives the body a sense of weight and safety. So sometimes even if you have a light covering, that's nice as well. So lying down and just adjusting yourself so that your head is comfortably supported, and make sure that your chin isn't sticking up in the air because that would hyperextend the neck. And Shavasana arms is to have the arms out to the sides, a little bit of space underneath your armpits. And I usually like to do a little roll out of the shoulders. So pressing the backs of your elbows into the ground, the chest lifts, the shoulders roll under, and then it feels a little bit more comfortable so the shoulder blades can rest into the ground. And your feet are a little bit more than hip width apart, and you feel a sense of heaviness in your pelvis. If you're not quite comfortable in the lower back, inhale, squeeze the buttocks, the hips lift a little bit, and then exhale as you just release the pelvis down and let the pelvis be really heavy here. And so closing your eyes. If you have an eye pillow, you can place your eye pillow over top to be comfortable here. And so we enter into this practice of Yoga Nidra. We'll start with a few cleansing breaths. So inhaling, and as you exhale, feel the weight of your body simply resting deeply into the ground or the surface that you're lying on. And take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel that sense of surrendering and letting go. Trusting that you are completely supported by the earth beneath you. Taking one more deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel a softening of your skin, your muscles, your bones, and resting in the natural flow of your own breath. And so Yoga Nidra is a practice of pratyahara, the fifth limb of yoga. Pratyahara is a drawing of our awareness inwards, away from the outer distractions of all of our senses. And so bring awareness to the quiet rhythm of your breath. The breath is your guide in this practice. Yoga Nidra means yogic sleep. It is sleep with a trace of awareness. It's as if the body is so restful. It's receiving the benefits of deep sleep. And yet something stays awake and aware. We connect to the deeper phases of our consciousness. We let go of distracting thoughts. And yet it is a practice. It takes time. And so making any final adjustments to be comfortable and still in your body. Softening the space between your eyebrows. Maybe moistening the lips and relaxing the mouth into a smile of contentment. Softening all of your facial muscles. Feeling the wave-like movement of the breath. Each breath giving the gift of relaxation and healing. Each breath guiding us deeper into ourself, our true nature. And so before we move into sensing the chakras, I'm going to take a little journey through the body, this rotation of consciousness to fully relax the body. And so begin by bringing awareness to your right hand and just feel the right hand resting where it is. Be aware of all the fingers, the skin on the palm, the skin on the back of the hand. You may begin to experience a sense of warmth or tingling. You might be sensing your subtle energy body. Continue to breathe gently. Imagine bringing that energy up through the right wrist and the forearm, feeling and sensing into the right elbow, the hollow of the elbow. Bring your awareness up through the upper arm. And can you feel and sense a place where the upper arm bone plugs into your right shoulder? Sensing the entire shoulder, front, back, top. Sensing into the armpit. Now let awareness flow into the right side of the chest and the front. And the right side of the upper back and the shoulder blade. Let awareness flow down into the right side of the rib cage. Feeling and sensing the movement of the right lung as it fills and empties with breath. Flowing down through the right side of the abdomen, the right side of the lower back. Now down into the right side of the pelvis. Noticing how your right hip feels, softening through the right buttock. Flowing down through the right thigh, feel the heaviness of the right thigh. down through the right knee, and down through the right calf and shin, the right ankle, feeling and sensing into the skin on the top of the foot, the skin on the bottom of the foot, all of the toes, and the space between the toes. And bring awareness to the very bottom sole of the right foot. And now imagine that you could breathe in and out through the bottom of your right foot. Using this visualization, imagine breathing in through the right foot, all the way up the right leg, up the right side of the body to the right shoulder, and then breathing out through your right arm and your right hand. Breathing in through the bottom of the right foot, all the way up the right side of the body to the right shoulder. Exhaling all the way out through the right arm and the right hand. So continuing on your own time and rhythm, this purifying, cleansing breeze of the breath, brushing away any tension, any blockages, any discomfort and pain. Bring awareness to the sense back to the whole body. And notice how the right side of the body feels compared to the left side of the body. Feel a little bit more light, a little bit more spacious, alive. So you've simply awakened sensation in the right side of your body, sensation and energy and prana. So let's do the same thing on the left side. So bring awareness to your left hand. Sense it just resting. Be aware of all of your fingers, the skin on the palm, the skin of the back of the hand. Breathing gently and smoothly. Just being with sensation. And sensation helps us tune into subtle energy. Bring awareness up through the left wrist and the forearm. And now the elbow. Feeling and sense the upper left arm and the shoulder. Allow the left shoulder to completely release and relax. Bring awareness to the left armpit. Be aware of the left side of the chest and the front. Left side of the rib cage, left side of the upper back and the shoulder blade. And a sense of your breath. Let awareness flow down through the left side of the rib cage, the front, side, back of the rib cage. And deeper into the sense of the left lung. Flowing down into the left side of the abdomen. And the lower back. Going down through the left side of your pelvis now. Feeling into the left hip. Softening the left buttock. Let energy flow down through the thigh, down through the knee, feeling and sensing the space behind the knee, down through the lower leg, the shin, the calf, now the ankle. Let awareness flow into the left foot, top of the foot, bottom sole of the foot, sensing your toes and the space between the toes. And then that sweeping, clearing breath we did on the right side, we'll do on the left side. So imagine breathing in through your left foot all the way up the left side of the body to the left shoulder. Exhale, that letting go energy flows out through the left arm and left hand. Inhale up the left side of your body. Exhale out the left arm and hand. Sweeping away any remaining tension, any place where you're sensing tightness, constriction, where the energy might be stuck. A few more breaths here on the left side. And then bringing awareness to both the left side and the right side at the same time. The sense of allowing the body to rest more deeply, releasing muscular tension, allowing the energy to flow freely. And with the body relaxed and at ease, we can move into the map of the chakras. So bringing your awareness, first of all, just to the feeling of your legs. Feel your both legs heavy and relaxed, that earthy feeling in your legs. And then bringing awareness now to the feeling at the base of the spine, as well as the delicate tissues of the perineum. And so Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. The element is earth. So feel that earthiness, the heaviness in your legs, in the pelvis. And the color is red. So all of the chakras have a color. So it's helpful for you imagining a swirling red mist or the color red in this area. As I said before, Muladhara associated with our right to be here, to take up space on this planet, to belong, to have our basic needs met. And so all of our chakras have an affirmation or a mantra that we can say. And so saying silently to yourself, I am here. I am here. Maybe synchronizing with your breath. So I am as you breathe in, here as you breathe out. Feeling completely welcomed here, right now. Feeling the welcoming embrace of the earth beneath you. I am here. And so the invitation is, as you repeat the affirmation as you focus your awareness to just be open to any messages from your body, from these sacred centers. Messages of healing. Might be just a feeling, a knowing, might be a word or an image that comes to you in this relaxed state. And so now bring your awareness to the space just above the pubic bone, Svadhisthana chakra. And this is the water element, so feel the watery feeling as it moves through your hips and your pelvis, freeing up space just like water does. It flows. And the color is orange. So Svadhisthana chakra related to our sexuality, our sensuality, our feelings, our invitation to feel and acknowledge the whole realm of human experience, all of our feelings. And so the affirmation here is, I feel, I feel. So simply feeling and sensing into this particular sacred center, Svadhisthana chakra, being open and receptive to whatever wants to arise for you. And bring awareness now to the third chakra, the navel center. Again, feeling and sensing the breath here. Manipura chakra, precious jewel. The element is fire. The fire of our willpower, our passion to take action for ourselves and on behalf of others and on behalf of our planet. And so as you breathe and sense here, the color is a golden light. And the affirmation is, I act. I take action in the world. Feeling, sensing, repeating the affirmation, I act. And so moving up now into the heart chakra. Remember, the heart chakra lies at the very center of the chakra system. Anahata chakra, the unstruck sound, the place of deep silence and stillness and knowing. Perhaps also the unhurt part of us. The color is green, green trees, green grass. And the heart center associated with love. The ability to both receive love and give love and offer love. And so the affirmation here is, I love. or I am love. Be gentle here. We can often have armoring or shielding around our heart center. Trust in the breath. Trust in your gentle awareness. Trust that you're already loved and loving. And bring awareness now to the throat center, Vishuddha chakra. You might want to swallow to relax the throat muscles. I forgot to mention the element of the heart center was air, so the spaciousness. And the element here is sound and vibration. The color is blue, blue sky, blue ocean. And this chakra related to our voice, giving voice to our deepest feelings of both love and loss, giving voice to our truth, offering our voice to the world. So the affirmation is, I speak. I speak. Listening deeply to what it is you want to speak out into the world, what you want to give voice to. Moving up now to the space between the eyebrows, Ajna chakra, sometimes known as the third eye. It denotes another way of seeing, to see beyond the surface, an intuitive wisdom. And the color is purple or indigo. And the affirmation is, I see. I see. And so as you gently focus your awareness here, the third eye, be open to whatever images want to arise here. What do you see? And finally, bring awareness to the very crown of the head, Sahasrara chakra, thousand-petaled lotus, pure white light. And you might imagine pure white just streaming in through the crown of your head. And this is a place of oneness. There is no more separation between yourself and others, between yourself and the world, between yourself and spirit or God. All is one here. The affirmation here is simply I am. Not the singular I am, but the great I am. I am part of universal consciousness. I am one with all. I am. And so imagine your whole body now filled with this beautiful white light, this energy of oneness, feeling and sensing yourself no longer separate. All of your chakras balanced, healed, connected to the earth, feeling all of your feelings, in touch with your power center, in touch with love, speaking your voice, seeing with intuitive awareness, at one. Staying relaxed and at ease. Letting the sound of the singing bowl just ripple through your whole body. Feeling the solidness of the earth beneath you, the vastness of the sky above, and taking your place here, balanced between earth and heaven, body and spirit, form and formless. Beginning to deepen your breath and invite some gentle movement now into your body, maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes, taking whatever stretches you need to make. And of course, you're welcome to just stay in this restful lying down position. Or as we close off, if you want to roll over onto your side first, rest there for a moment, take your time, and when you're ready, transition back to a seated position. And so we practice not only for ourselves, but we practice for each other, for our families and friends. We practice for the whole world. And so feeling and sensing into the peace and balance that you felt this evening. And bring your hands to your heart center, honoring the loving and beautiful nature that you are and honoring that same loving nature in each other. Namaste. And And so we can end the recording now, and there's a little bit of time for some questions if you like, and we're happy to stay later too. So